And Ike Kajoti joins us now live from Chesapeake, Virginia. We've also got ABC News senior investigative reporter Aaron Katursky and ABC News contributor, former police chief for San Bernardino, California, Jared Bergwan. Ike, first, what are we learning about the victims in this case and how the community is responding?
Well, right now, this community is wrapping their hands around everybody they could. Just for the past few hours that we've seen here, we've seen a lot of people just really trickle into this Walmart, some with signs saying, if you need a prayer, if you need a hug, I'm right here. Others just gathering, simply giving people an embrace. But in terms of the people who were actually directly affected of this, we do have a little bit of new information. Now, one of the family members of one of the individuals who were in fact hurt, they came here about a couple of hours ago and they told me that their family member, their brother, their uncle was in that hospital in stable condition, however still severely injured with a long way to go. As far as the 7 people who were killed, Walmart and law enforcement telling us that 3 of those individuals, including the shooter, were found dead inside that break room where this entire ordeal began. Another victim was found near the entrance of the store, and the last 3 victims who passed away, well, they were taken to the hospital where they later died. As far as the witnesses, I've been managed to speak to several witnesses who saw this carnage. One in particular, Kevin Harper, he was an individual who was actually inside that break room moments before the shooting rang out. He told me that he just had some kind of premonition, some kind of feeling that told him to get out of that break room. And it wasn't just a few moments later, he heard those muffled gunshots ringing out from that break room. He told me that at that point, he made a beeline straight for the clothes hanger where he can hide. And I asked him, how long did he hide inside that clothes hanger? He told me he had no idea because time felt it stopped. But after a while, he managed to get out of there, run out of the store, and he told me that on his way out of the store, he did, in fact, see some bodies, some covered completely in blood. Again, a lot of the witnesses who they say this incident shocked them to the core, but they're not surprised given the frequency in which these shootings are happening in our country right now.
No question about that, Ike. Just a terrible day for them in particular, for our country, this shame, this stigma on our country, this gun violence. Aaron, investigators have identified the shooter, 31-year-old Andre Bing. What else can you tell us about where the investigation stands at this point?
They know that Andre Bing has worked for Walmart since 2010. He was an associate for the company and the supervisor of the overnight shift, which was just beginning after 10 p.m. when he burst into this break room and opened fire seemingly at random, according to eyewitnesses. Police haven't said much more about him, but Terry, workplace violence, or in Colorado, hate, where Chief Bergwan was in San Bernardino, may have been extremism. At this point, what's the difference? There's easy access to guns, and increasingly in this country, people who may be angry or who may have something going on inside them are turning to violence, and particularly gun violence, in order to cope with it. And that's the newest challenge for law enforcement in the country, Terry. It's happening over and over again.
It does seem, Aaron, that's very astute, that there's almost a self-medication for a broken and twisted mind to start shooting at people. And Jared, I just want to, according to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been at least 606 mass shootings this year. And I want to ask you, do you think it's gotten worse since you were chief in San Bernardino and had to go through that awful shooting there?
I think it has gotten worse, and worse for a variety of reasons. I made an observation to myself earlier today in preparation for this. You know, when Columbine happened, we were shocked. We were collectively shocked. And on the law enforcement side, we gave Columbine a lot of leeway for the response because nobody had ever experienced something like that before. And then fast forward to Uvalde, where we were very angry about the response in Uvalde. We were angry because we know better by now. The reality is, and fast forward to today, is I don't know that anybody in this law enforcement profession doesn't know somebody, 1 or 2 degrees of separation, another officer, somebody that works for a neighboring agency, somebody that they went to the academy with, that hasn't had to deal personally with one of these types of events. And you're absolutely right. It is an embarrassing thing for this country to deal with.
It really is. We just can't seem to get on top of it. Ike, ABC News Spoken to Brianna Tyler, a woman who worked for the store for 2 months. She says the location, the company has not yet reached out to staffers. Has Walmart said anything?
Well, here's what we know, Terry. In times of crisis like this at the workplace, it's not uncommon for that workplace to bring in some sort of crisis counselor or therapist to help deal with the aftermath of going through something so traumatic. That is something that we will likely see here in the future. But as of right now, the only thing we know of is that statement that Walmart has put out. It says, in part, we are shocked at this tragic event. We're working closely with law enforcement, and we are focused on supporting our associates, Terry.
All right. Ike Kajochi, Eric Katursky, Jared Bergwan, thank you for being with us on this mess.
Here we go again. Here we go again. Take a look at this guy. No life in his eyes, the expression on his face, and unfortunately the color of his skin. Another black guy. Deleted people in Walmart and then deleted himself. Now I'm going to say this, and I've said it before here on this platform, on this channel. There is a degeneracy that has been unleashed in the Black community. And every year it gets worse and worse and worse. And especially within the past 2 years, I would say it's gotten even worse since COVID, since everybody was locked in. And we really got to see the level to which there is this degeneracy in the Black community. Black men are unhappy. Black men are increasingly becoming incels. And Black men are increasingly becoming violent. And to the degree now that more lives have been taken at the hands of this dusty Black Cain. So, ladies, especially Black women, take care of yourselves, be aware of your surroundings, and as much as you possibly can, and I'm going to say it, avoid Black men. Because Black men are increasingly becoming the most dangerous men to society. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Black men are a danger to the Black community.